Hello everyone, this is the Ripper, and today we're playing Chivalry Medieval Warfare. I don't know why that took me so long to get out. We're playing Chivalry Medieval Warfare, and whoa there. And today, that was an awesome head taking. My broken ass is going to be teaching you awesome people, how to use the Holy Water Sprinkler. Now, I know that sounds dandy, but it looks gnarly as fuck. Just check that out. Most of you have probably not used or seen this weapon because it is very rare to just generally see people use it. It's the fastest man-at-arms weapon tied... Or is it the fastest? Fuck. I will check. Oh my god, that was glorious! It is the fastest weapon tied with the Norse sword that the man-at-arms can use as a primary. And it's bloody fantastic. Check this shit out. So, it may only deal 34 damage and have 24 reach. Compared to the Norse, that's shit, right? But it deals a ton of damage to vanguards and knights. As I probably told you guys in another video, the maces of the game in general, the maces deal extra damage to knights and vanguards, and swords deal extra damage to man-at-arms and archers, as you can see. It's all a test. So the holy water is built to destroy knights and vanguards, and its poke speed, and I distinguish the poke speed above all the other attacks, is insane. Check this shit out. Whoa, Tripper. How fast is that? Well, faster than your mother reaches orgasm, I'll tell you that much. But, what I want you to do is just watch the comparison of these two weapon stabs. Alright, watch that stab. Stab me. Come on, I dare you. Okay. See that? No, this is a bad comparison. I'll probably compare it with a different weapon. See, poke? Poke? Good speed, right? Look at the dagger. That's about half a speed. This is a terrible comparison. Let's do this right. So, the Holy Water Sprinkler is fast as fuck, right? And I rely on the poke speed above everything else because it can go past most people's reaction time, in that they're not even able to block it before it hits them. And this is so weird because I used to use the broadsword religiously because of its apparent speed. But the broadsword is 5% slower than the Holy Water Sprinkler, which is actually a metric fuck ton of speed if you really compared it, got down in the nitty-gritty. I don't like nitty-gritty. I like breaking heads. You see? Just if you're fighting a normal person, their reaction time will normally not be up to par with the kind needed to block this beast of a primary. And while I will use, on occasion, overheads with this thing, I rarely use slashes with it, because the pokes are just so fast. I only really use overheads as finishers or beginners. As in, I kill them with it, or I start out by hitting them with it. I sometimes combo into it. Actually, I would recommend that you try and combo into it if you think you have them, if you think you have some good momentum going. Ow. Oh, you see? That reaction time. This thing is one of the... I think it is the fastest primary you can possibly use. Let's check. Got 87% on the Holy Water. Don't go to menu. Got an 87% on the Holy Water. I believe it is the fastest primary. I'm almost certain. It is not the fastest weapon overall. That goes to one of the daggers. But it is so fast. And you can... Most of the time, you're able to poke in between enemy attacks and... stun them, I think, or stop their attack. Like here, let's see his next attack. If he hadn't been about to die, that strike would have disabled his attack, as in his attack would have been interrupted. That's what I meant to say. So this weapon is insanely fast, and for the damage it deals, it is probably the most efficient 1v1 man-at-arms weapon ever. And I will show you guys a legit comparison in a moment. Just one more duel with this thing. You see, the speed is just inane. And the riposte time is nothing. Riposte means blocking a strike and then hitting directly afterward. So you guys saw how fast that poke was, right? I like to think you did. So let's compare it to the poke of this. Now I hope you guys can remember a little bit. So this poke isn't noticeably slower, but it is statistically. Oh my god, brah. Stop your feints. Please. Please stop your feints. You see, it's still really fast, but this takes it to a whole new level. Like, I wasn't able to kill competitive level Chivalry Knights and Vanguards before I started using this weapon, unless they were using a really slow weapon. And by competitive, I mean, like, join LG Duel server, and you'll know what I mean. So they will absolutely wreck you if you do not know what you're doing. And that is not an insult to anyone. They have wrecked me a bajillion times. Boy, I swear, you keep faint. Okay, Banana. I see how it is. So he kicked me with that last thing, so it doesn't count. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to only use pokes. And this is normally what I do against a very skilled Knight or Vanguard. I will use the speed with which that the pokes give me, and get my head chopped off by a Vanguard. The one weakness, seeing that, you guys just saw that, the one weakness that the Holy Water Sprinkler has, it doesn't deal enough damage to make a lasting impact on the enemy in the early and middle duel. As in, you get a couple strikes in, you get a couple pokes, that's great, they're at half health. They get one overhead on you, you get your head chopped off. Or you get to 0 health, as in like one point of health left. So you need to be very light on your feet with the weapon. You need to be very quick with it. You need to use its speed. Don't rely on its damage or its reach. Its reach is actually very, very good, but don't rely on it, okay? You want to use a weapon's best trait as the basis of your tactics. So, for instance, the broadsword, I use, since it's such a well-rounded weapon, I'll just use it for everything. The Holy Water, though, its speed is its best characteristic, so I will poke, get out a little bit, poke, get out a little bit. Okay, now fighting another Man-at-Arms, if this was like a pro-level Man-at-Arms, he would be, like, doing circles around me. Because the thing is, this weapon, compared to the broadsword, while it may be faster, the broadsword's range gives them a little bit more of a bubble. Meaning they can dodge, space out a little bit. They can do matrix lunges. I'll show you guys a matrix lunge. This is a matrix lunge. Essentially, boop. You might have seen that. Some pro players do that. A lot of pro players do that. Especially if they are Man-at-Arms broadswording, because the broadsword has such a decent range that it really thrives when you give it sort of an artificial range with this kind of matrix thrust type thing. And shields are obviously easy because you can hit so fast, so you just poke, poke, poke. Nope, sorry. Now let's see if we can't get a Man-at-Arms who wants to kill me. Oh, Dandy, Banana Grabber. So now what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to be very defensive. This weapon rewards defensive gameplay because its range is decent and its damage is fantastic. No. Stop it. You see? A couple pokes when their back is turned can do a lot. Can kill them, obviously. And Banana Grabber, rank 50 player, he is an extremely skilled player. So if you can just poke them to death, do it. Right? There's almost no situation where you can't just poke them to death. And he's saying the only defense against me is just to keep hitting. And that is the only defense against a fast weapon, is to outstrike your opponent. But if you rely on your ability to strike better or longer than the Man-at-Arms you're fighting, then you will die. And that's how you kill El Banana Grabber. As you saw before, he killed me because I was being very aggressive. I was going in there trying to use my damage, but I didn't have any. The second time around, I just poked him. I used the decent range of the Holy Water and the Holy Water Sprinkler. It's abbreviated Holy Water. And I just poked. Pokety, pokety, poke. Because the speed is so much more than what people are used to. They just can't deal with it. And I should probably show you guys this weapon being used by a knight. Now, I rarely use this weapon as a knight, but it is really interesting. You don't have the kind of speed of movement as a man-at-arms, but it's so annoying to see this fat knight get these quick hits on you. You see? Most of the knight weapons are super slow. In fact, this is the fastest weapon, I believe, that the knight can use. 87 speed. Knight can use Norse Sword, I guess. But from what I'm telling you, the Norse Sword is best suited for other man-at-arms or archer types, I suppose. Specifically man-at-arms. The Holy Water, however, can pretty much decimate a knight or any vanguard when used properly. Because its range and its speed are just... Oh, this guy's getting really defensive. That's something you want to watch out for when you're fighting people with the Holy Water. Because when they get defensive, then you have to get offensive. And that may not bode too well. However, this guy, he didn't really know how to take advantage of momentum or anything like that. So I just whacked him to death. Let's try one more duel with the Knight Holy Water Sprinkler. You know what the hell, we'll use a shield with it. So, I never ever use a shield, ever. Unless I'm fighting a shit ton of archers. But, apparently, and I don't know if this is completely true, it looks like the weapon is faster when there's a shield. I'm pretty sure everyone will agree. But my theory is, there might be numbers to disprove this, my theory is that your weapon just has a slower wind-up time, and so your actual strike is faster. You see, the poke wind-up time was a bit slower than normal, but the strike, as in when it goes past my body, after I stop bending my elbow behind me, when I actually strike forward, that's when it goes really fast. So, the Knight's Holy Water Sprinkler, I would actually use that as an everyday secondary for the Knight, because it's just so damn good. And I have started using the Holy Water Sprinkler as my primary for man-at-arms in competitive play. Mostly duels play. Team competitive play, it's very difficult to work with, because its range is quite a bit lower than the broadsword, so it's not as good as hitting those 2v1s, keeping yourself alive like that. But against one person, it is just unbeatable, because it's so damn fast. What more can I show you, gracious people? I think that's about it. Oh yeah, duel's over. Round's over. Jonas won. Jonas is a great man-at-arms, actually. I wish I had fought him. So, key points. Holy Water Sprinkler is fast as fork, so make use of that. Don't try to take advantage of its range as its main facet. Like, you should be playing somewhat defensively with the Holy Water. You should be keeping a little distance between you and your opponent. Let them break the distance, and poke them. Always poke them. I would only really recommend overheading as a form of combo or as a beginner or finisher. Not to will them down, only to start a duel or to end one. And don't rely on the damage, because it will get you killed very quickly. Only use the Holy Water if you're dueling against Vanguard's Knights. Holy Water is somewhat feasible against less skilled man-at-arms, but the better skilled man-at-arms are going to pull out broadswords and Norse swords, which have quite a bit of range over the Holy Water. And the Norse sword even matches its speed, so against other men-at-arms, work with a sword. Don't work with that if you have a choice. And also, if you're playing team games, you probably don't want to use this because its range is much less than the swords. Knight Holy Water Sprinkler, you can use just for fun. I would actually, like I said, use it as a daily driver for your Knight. Use it as a regular secondary because it's so damn good against just about everything. However, if you find yourself fighting men-at-arms a lot, just like I said with the man-at-arms, go with a sword because they can deal with them a lot easier. In fact, it's really a toss-up between the Holy Water and the Broadsword as a secondary for the Knight. Broadsword, North Sword, depending on what you like. More range or more speed. Because your primary is most likely going to be a blunted weapon, so you'll be able to deal a good amount of damage against Vanguards and Knights. Let's see, with shields, I didn't get to do one with a Man-at-Arms shield. If you Man-at-Arms shield Holy Water, you'll be fast as fuck, but don't abuse the shield. Don't keep it up all the time. Don't open yourself up to kicks. I'm losing my voice a little bit. Okay. I think I told everything I possibly could. Knight, Holy Water Shield, you can use that whenever the hell you want. I don't care. In conclusion, like, favorite, subscribe if I taught you something, and please comment if I did as well. Share it if you loved it. Ask any questions you have or you can ask in the comments. I read all of them, I promise you. And any suggestions for tactics videos, place in the comments as well. I read all of them, and I'm totally open to them all the time. In fact, the last video I did, Reverse Overhead, that was completely comment gotten. I hadn't thought of doing one because I don't usually use it, but I knew how to do it, so why the hell not? The Holy Water I had been using for a long time, so I wanted to just pull that out and show you guys how to use it. So yeah, that's that. Like, favorite, subscribe, share if you loved it, and I will see you fine people later. As always, have a grand day. See you guys next time.